Everyone. My name is Bob Coleman, C-O-L-E-M-A-N. I am the Chief of Staff and Public Information Officer for the Loveland Police Department. In a few minutes, Chief Tim Duran will make a statement, and he will be followed by Sheriff John Fayen. After these two gentlemen make their statement, we will open it up to questions. I will ask, if you do have a question, raise your hand and I will call on you individually. Before you ask your question, if you would identify yourself and what media outlet that you are from would be helpful. I will make every effort to call on everyone, but I'm asking that you all don't start shouting questions at once and give these gentlemen time to completely answer the questions you do have. Chief.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming today. As I have made it clear during my tenure, when a member of this department does not conduct themselves to the standards I have put in place, or when a member of the department is accused of violating the law, I will act decisively to address the allegations and involve outside agencies if necessary. I also promised transparency and accountability, and told you I would be the first one to notify our community of the actions I have taken in addressing these situations. I am fulfilling that ongoing commitment now. On Monday, October 23rd, a 15-year-old female and her family contacted a professional staff member here at the Loveland Police Department. The teen disclosed that an on-duty Loveland police officer contacted her at a park in the summer of 2023, and that during the interaction, he sexually assaulted her. She could distinctly remember his face, but never knew his name. Upon receiving this report, the LPD employee immediately connected the victim with a sergeant from the Criminal Investigations Division, so they could collect the basic facts from the incident. After this interview, Loveland detectives contacted the Department of Human Services and reached out to the Larimer County Sheriff's Office to request that LCSO lead the investigation. Loveland detectives also shared this information with the District Attorney's Office, who assigned a DA prosecutor to the case. Investigators scheduled the first available appointment for the victim to complete a more thorough interview at the Crawford Child Advocacy Center. The CAC is a local partner organization with expertise in conducting forensic interviews of children and teenagers. The interview took place on Thursday, October 26th. As a result of this and other evidence gathered by LPD, investigators were able to determine the specific date and location where the contact reportedly occurred. They also identified the suspected officer as Dylan Miller. When Miller reported to work for his next shift on October 27th, he was immediately placed on administrative leave. The Larimer County Sheriff's Office completed the criminal investigation and obtained a warrant for Miller's arrest. He was taken into custody earlier today. When I was informed the arrest warrant had been issued, I informed our city manager, city attorney, and Human Resources Office and terminated the officer this morning. Miller was hired in 2022 under the previous administration. He applied to the Loveland Police Department on March 1st, 2022. He was hired on May 20th, and he entered pre-service training and the field training officer program on July 28th. He completed his FTO program on October 15th, 2022, and he has been assigned to the Patrol Division for slightly over a year. He was also previously employed with the Durango Police Department from September 2020 through May of 2022. Like all arrested suspects, he has the right to a fair prosecution. As such, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty, and his future will be determined through the courts. However, there is no place at the Loveland Police Department for this individual. Reporting a traumatic incident takes a lot of courage, and I'm proud of the young woman who came forward in this situation. I want any and all victims in our community to feel safe and supported in reporting crimes. Please know you will be treated with compassion and respect. I want to be very clear about where I and your Loveland Police Department stand. People who victimize children deserve to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Anyone who uses their badge to do so is a disgrace to this profession and should be rooted out. Since becoming your chief, I have a proven record of acting swiftly and without hesitation when misconduct and criminal activity among our rank and file become known to me. During my 10-month tenure, we as a city and a department have faced and met many challenges. It hasn't been an easy road, but our community deserves transparency and accountability. You can rest assured we acted as quickly as possible to identify and place the former officer on leave to minimize his contact with the public, while at the same time fully cooperating with a very substantial and complex investigation. I am grateful to Sheriff Fan and the District Attorney's Office for working with us to make an arrest as fast as circumstances allowed. On that note, I will turn the lectern over to Sheriff Fan.
Thank you, Chief. As Chief Duran stated, I am Larimer County Sheriff John Fan, and I'm going to talk about the investigation conducted by the Sheriff's Office. Now, as you're aware, Colorado law protects victims and juveniles in regard to information that we can release in an investigation like this, so some of the information will be limited. As Chief Duran noted, the Loveland Police detectives reached out to the Larimer County Sheriff's Office as soon as they had a clear picture of the allegations against the suspect. Through investigations and evidence collection, our investigators learned the following. Miller initially contacted the victim and several other individuals at a traffic stop in late July. The victim told investigators that several days later, she and another individual were in a Loveland park after dark when they were contacted by Miller again. Miller informed the individual with the victim to leave, and he did so. Meantime, he was on duty and in uniform, drove up in his marked car and contacted them and instructed her to walk with him to a secluded area of the park. It was at this location that he sexually assaulted her. After reviewing the evidence in this case and consulting the District Attorney's Office, Sheriff's Office investigators obtained an arrest warrant for Miller this morning, and he was taken into custody. He was taken into custody for multiple felony and misdemeanor charges, including first-degree kidnapping, sex assault on a child by one in a position of trust, unlawful sexual conduct by a peace officer, sexual assault, official oppression, and first-degree official misconduct. As a peace officer, I've spent years investigating crimes against children. These are difficult cases for everyone, particularly for the victims and their families. The respect I have at this moment for this young woman and her family to come forward and make this known to us is beyond measure. I appreciate the quick action that Loveland detectives and Loveland Police leadership took to involve our investigators and the District Attorney's Office to make sure that we can support the victim, we can seek justice, and we can prevent further harm. As Chief Duran shared, Miller worked for the Durango Police Department from 2020 through 2022 before coming to Loveland. Given the natures of the charges, we do have concerns that there may be other victims out there. If you or someone you know has been abused by this individual, we want to talk to you. We want to hear your story. Please reach out to the Larimer County Sheriff's Office so we can investigate this. Your voice matters to us. I appreciate your time. With that, I'll turn the floor back over to Mr. Coleman.
Okay, folks, we'll open it up for questions now.
Was there body cam video of the initial contact with these individuals?
There is body cam footage from the initial contact at the traffic stop. There is not body cam footage from the incident at the park.
You were able to tie those two together, though?
Yes, we were able to tie those two together.
The investigation revealed it all, as Chief Stater from that news, by the way. Has the investigation revealed it all? Like, was he following them for the time between that traffic stop and the next encounter? Like, had they had contact, or had he been near them or near the victim before that?
The indication that we have is that the only contact they had was the initial traffic stop and then the contact in the park. There was no other contacts in between those two incidents.
Do you believe it to just be random, that he contacted her again, that he didn't know where she was?
To the best of our information, it was a happenstance.
Do you know in Durango, did he have any disciplinary action against him? Were there any problems in Durango with his service there?
There was nothing in his background that would indicate that he had any indications of sexual impropriety in Durango.
Any other disciplinary problems when he was in Durango?
As all officers have discipline records, we reviewed all of that background before making a decision to hire him. And again, that was a previous administration that would be challenging for me to comment on since it was before my time.
Sheriff, you mentioned that there, due to the nature of the charge, we may be concerned that there may be others, a little bit of a paraphrase from me there, but simply because of the charge, but not because of any indication of things that you've heard of with prior behavior, or is there anything that would direct toward other victims other than the fact that this is a sexual assault on a child?
So there's nothing indicating from our conversations and our investigation in this case that there are other victims out there, but again, from my years of experience of dealing with cases like this, it leads us to potentially think there may be other victims out there, but nothing substantive has been stated to us or revealed in the investigation.
And where did you guys give an age on Mr. Miller? I'm sorry.
He was born in '95.
And I think one of the important aspects of this press conference is indeed for us to get the message out, the word out. We'd like to know if there are other victims. So that aspect is, if I were to say what is the true importance of this press conference, it's getting this word out. Have you seen this officer in any way do anything that would mirror these actions?
Chief, you had mentioned you don't want to talk about any potential other discipline in Durango, but was there discipline here since May of 2022, unrelated to sexual contact issues, just general discipline?
Nothing of note.
There seemed to be a period of time between when this incident occurred and when the complaint was made. Is there anything particular about this girl coming forward that concerns you? Was she afraid to come to the police department? Is there anything there that would indicate, lack of willingness or fear of coming to you?
Okay, so no, there's nothing that indicates that. Again, having worked many of these cases, that is not an uncommon scenario where it takes a period of time for the victims to process, to begin to outcry to family, friends, to feel safe in what's going on around them. It has nothing to do with a law enforcement officer being involved or a police agency. That is not an uncommon that it takes, that victims don't outcry immediately.
I would add, if I may, that I did speak with the family, and they were very complimentary of the Larimer County Sheriff's Office and how we've been conducting the investigation, but I would say that they were the ones to come forward to us, to the Loveland Police Department. And they had a confidence in our department, in my command team, that we would do something about this, and I think we've fulfilled that expectation.
If you're going to answer, will you be releasing the video that goes with this with the traffic stop?
The video, I believe, if you have to core request it, I don't know the answer to that, I apologize.
The other people that were with the girl at the time that he told her to go with him, they saw that, they're potential witnesses to him taking her off in another direction.
And we have interviewed him, that is correct.
Did he give an indication of what that initial stop was for the second time before the assault, that he just approached them and say, you've got to come with me? Like, how did that play out?
I'm sorry, can you clarify, the
I
contact
guess
in the
the
park or
question-
the traffic stop?
The traffic stop was the traffic stop. The second contact, what was the genesis of that contact? Like, what started it?
In the park after dark, after the hours, the park had closed.
And that park was what? You mentioned park, but I didn't believe you said specifically which one, if I remember correctly.
It was North Lake Park?
North Lake?
North?
North Lake Park.
Yep.
Pardon me.
that it? All right.
Well, if I could end with a statement that I'm so proud of the courage of this young woman from our community to come forward, I would ask victims of all makes to come forward if they feel that there is something that's going on. They need to put trust in our department to do the right thing, so I would encourage all victims to come forward. Thank you very much.
Was he in law enforcement at all before Durango? Because he would have been about 24, 25 when he
No,
started
sir.
there. And there's no other record prior to that that he would have that you're aware of?
There is no previous law enforcement before Durango.
I do have one announcement to make before you guys leave. The Larimer County Sheriff's Office on their website, which is larimer.gov/sheriff, will be having a press kit posted there that has the two CEO statements, his booking photo, and the charges, and they'll be pushing that out after this conference.
Again, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.